Every community must deal with issues, face tough challenges, and make difficult decisions in order to grow and move forward. We're here today to identify the problems, talk about solutions, and come together to strengthen our community. This is what's going on.
Thank you very much for joining us. Make it a great day. I'm excited about this because there's a conference coming up for men. Okay, it's called the Thrive Conference. And I've got two strong men in the studio with me that we're going to talk all about it. Jay Maymi and, of course, Mr. Keenan Williams, motivational speaker, author, and, of course, Jay, motivational speaker, author, and you, of course, have created this Survive to Thrive Enterprises. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
All is well.
Okay, all is well. In fact, fantastic. So let's talk about the Thrive Conference. So, Jay, did you create this, or what was the need for it?
Well, what happened was I started to see that there's a need for men to feel more empowered than they're being empowered right now.
Like us women?
Well, yours is coming up soon, too. I got something for you in September.
So, and you felt the need, and then what?
I did. So since I've done a number of these around the country, I wanted to do one here locally where I could start to contribute to the community since I just moved here. I wanted to see what I can do to empower men right in this in the vicinity of where I'm living now. And I thought about holding it here, and I thought about 4 topics that could impact men, and nothing better than faith, fitness, finance, and fortitude.
And fortitude, those are some strong things right there.
Absolutely.
And then you put together some strong men, and one of those men are in the studio with us right now, Mr. Keenan Williams, who is an author and motivational speaker and businessman. What's up, Keenan?
What's up, Lynn?
It's all good today, right?
How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, I think the different men, because I looked at your flyer, you really got some strong men for this conference. Now, Keenan.
Good conference.
Yes.
Conference.
Tell us a little bit about your story, though, Keenan, because you have a very, very unique story.
Well, I'm going to be talking more about the lines of fortitude.
Okay.
And fortitude is, to define it, it means being encouraged or having courage in the midst of pain or adversity. And fortitude is something that as men, we have to learn. We have to embrace that. It becomes the motivator in the midst of adversarial advents and obstacles that occur in our lives.
And there are some obstacles.
We have to be encouraged in the middle of those things. We have to have the courage to know that this too shall pass, and that we can come out of it and then find the tools that it takes to come out of that adversity. And
of course, you have a lot of the tools available, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
So who are some of the speakers? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, to keep in line with what Keenan just said, me, Keenan, Jake Melton, and Rob Griffin will be covering the fortitude section. Keenan just spoke about what he's going to be covering. I'm going to be speaking about how to battle those invisible enemies that hold men from moving forward.
What are some of those?
Well, we're talking about doubt, depression, stress, fear, anxiety, disappointment, despair, and ultimately depression.
Yeah, depression, that's a big one, isn't it? Especially now in our communities.
Yeah, that's a real big one, Lynn. And piggybacking on Jay, because he went into those topics, you know, I'm going to be dealing with the law of subtraction, teaching men about the law of subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
then
what is the
teaching men
law
about
of subtraction?
Well, the law of subtraction is simply this. When you're in the midst of that situation and things are down, things are bad, you have to start with subtraction.
Okay.
Subtracting wrong relationships, subtracting wrong conversations, subtracting wrong thought processes, subtracting wrong habits, wrong people. And inadvertently, it gives you a better opportunity to have an addition and multiplication to a better character.
And that makes perfect sense because...
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, but it sounds so easy, but it's not.
Well, it's not easy, but if you use those steps, again, here's the thing. Most of the time, we want to take on information, how to make a betterment of our lives in the midst of a crisis situation. You can't get that information without first doing some subtraction so that there can be addition and multiplication, because it's being filtered through the hurt and through the pain.
That makes sense. Talking to Keenan Williams and Jay Maymi, the Thrive Conference. Now, that's going to be on June the 1st, correct?
Correct.
What's the website? So if someone wants to get information about this, because obviously this is for men all over.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Lynn.
And me too. Oh, okay. Hey.
We'll get
The
you in.
men
Don't worry, we'll
and
get you
me.
in.
Okay,
We'll get
that
you
is
in.
so
Me
good.
and Lynn.
That
Me and
is
Lynn.
so
That
good.
rhymes. I'm a rapper. I didn't know it.
Wait a minute. So now we can add author, motivational
and rapper.
speaker, businessman, and rapper. Okay, we got that, Keenan. And Jay, you're also an influencer. I mean, you have a lot going on. So what will men, I mean, obviously there's so much that they can get out of this. Did you have a story for yourself that made you, I know a little bit about Keenan's story. What was it again for you?
Well, for me, I grew up in Spanish Harlem. I'm from New York.
That's all you had to say.
Right. I grew up in a place called El Barrio, and I'm a twin. So it was very difficult back in those days to raise two boys in Spanish Harlem. And so my father took on 3 jobs. My mother stayed home. And, needless to say, we didn't have all the luxuries. We just had enough to get by. And that kind of gave me the incentive early on that if I'm going to make something of myself, it's going to be upon myself to make it happen. And if I wanted something special, then I needed to go out there and find a way to generate some income to go ahead and buy the things because I couldn't put any more pressure on my parents to get me more than what I needed.
So that's interesting because, again, say you're in a situation, money is not there. What did you do? I mean, just if it's a young man right now listening saying, I'm in that same space right now.
Well, it's funny. There's an art to learning how to turn poop into profit. Some people see poop, other people see profit. And me and my brother lived right across the street from Central Park, so we would go on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of poop in Central Park.
Yeah,
But we saw it in terms of nickels because, back then and still today, you can cash in those bottles and those cans, plastics for a nickel.
Don't I know that? I'm from upstate New
That's
York.
right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So we would go to Central Park on Saturday and Sunday after the ball game, and we pick up bottles and cans with my mother's old Puerto Rican shopping cart. We would go there and pick up bottles and cans and go right to the registry and cash them in for a nickel. And we have $25, $30 every weekend, and that's how we bought our nice sneakers, our Jordache jeans.
Yeah, nice.
It taught me that entrepreneurial experience early on.
That is a very good experience. Now, you can tell us a little bit about your experience because yours was different. You were a football star, injury,
Right.
drugs. Come on.
Drugs,
Yeah.
crack cocaine for 7 years, homeless for 4 years, being shot 6 times,
I keep forgetting
in and
about
out
that.
of jail over 45 times, and then landed in prison for 6 years.
45 times?
45 times in and out of jail.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think I have the right to talk about fortitude.
Yeah, I think you do
I've
too.
earned that.
Yes, you have.
Because in the midst of prison, I understood that preparation coupled with education would create an opportunity for me to become successful. But it started with my attitude.
I was
It
going to say,
started with my
because you're
attitude.
in prison and you got all this craziness going on, and was it like a aha moment, epiphany? What happened?
You know what, Lynn? It was a God moment for me. But I also understood I would see guys coming in out of prison that were going to church or going to the mosque, but then they come right back. And I made a decision that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to know the formula for success. And that attitude coupled with aptitude created the altitude of my dreams.
Okay.
And it's the same formula every day.
That makes sense.
But it starts with our attitude. And
Yeah.
that's where the fortitude comes in. Believing, number one, in yourself. I will never allow anyone's opinion of me to become my reality.
And that's a big one right
Because
there.
I know
because
who
that's
I
our
am.
thoughts.
I know who I am. It is our thoughts. And when we learn how to think different, we learn how to live different.
Okay.
And it's all about how you think. You know, one of my favorite little quotes is, it says, "So as a man thinketh, so is he." Now, when I translate that, I say to people, I will always know who you are by the way you act. You will always act like the person you think you are.
I know I do. So you probably know me then. Okay.
That's why you're coming.
Okay. I need it, right?
You're the
I
only
need it.
female
We
allowed.
love you.
You're
We
the
love
only
you.
female allowed in the whole show.
Oh my God. It is the Thrive concert. Look at there. See what I mean? The Thrive Conference on June the 1st. Give us the website information again in case someone is just joining us.
They can register at thejaymami.com/register.
Spell it out.
TheJayMami.com/register.
Okay. What else can people expect?
Well, they're going to expect to walk out super fired up and empowered, not only by the content, but the relationships they're going to develop by the other men that are going to be there. There'll be some
That's good
friendships made
stuff.
that day.
Yeah, that's good stuff right
Yeah,
there.
so it's a real networking opportunity. Now, is there like an age limit, or can all men come? Or is it young men, grown and
we're
sexy
we're
men?
getting young
Okay.
men as well. Matter of fact,
Absolutely.
we'll be at Frisco ISD, giving away a couple of tickets on Thursday.
Okay.
to some of the kids that are in alternative schools, because everyone needs to get this.
Yes, that's true.
This gives all aspects and facets for you to become a successful, not only young man, but a successful man. So these are characteristic traits that we really want to pour into people.
Now, Lynn, just real quick, because we did this, I wanted to strategically do it on what's considered Dad's Month, June, Father's Day month.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great way for a son to bring his dad or wife to bless her husband. I mean, let's take on the theme of Father's Day and let's just use it as a way to invite men to it.
That sounds like a plan. I really love that. Yeah, that is so true. And some of the men, I know Nigel with
Branson.
First Fit. Yes. Are you kidding? Nigel is the man.
Nigel is a powerful brother, and he's a great speaker.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's something else. I can tell you that.
He's going to lay it out on health.
Yeah, he's the health. I know. I figured that when I saw that. So you got someone on health, then you got the finance, and then faith. Man.
Kevin Mullins, who's coming in, is just an outstanding individual. He's a producer on 2 faith-based films. He's got a million followers. I mean, he's just an incredible anointed speaker. I couldn't think of anybody better to speak on faith than Kevin.
That's awesome. Again, it's the Thrive Conference. Talking to, of course, Jay Maymi and Keenan Williams. And June the 1st is when everything is going down. I like Survive to Thrive Enterprises. Where would you like to see this conference go?
I like it to be the launching pad for the next one and the next one and the next one and make this an annual event. So I'm hoping that your listeners support it, come out, get empowered by it, share it, so that way it becomes the launching pad for the future ones.
That's good. What about you, Keenan?
Same thing.
Really, just
same thing. We want to create a culture, and a culture of success, a culture of the right way of thinking and putting the right ingredients together for men, because there's such a lack of it today. That's the reality. We're lacking that.
Yeah.
And
so that means different ages all across
different
the board.
ages, Lynn. You know, Lynn, we watch guys that have these awesome gifts and talents, right? But they lack the character. See, gifts and talents can get you to a certain height, but it's the character that keeps you there.
That's going to keep you there.
It keeps you there. And the graveyard is full of gifts and talents and potentials and books and things that were never written or never sang about. We want to empower men, and Jay has this vision. So I support Jay in this, to empower men to become who God has called them to be.
Well, I think it's great because, again, like as women, we have conferences all the time, to empower.
More so than men do, yes.
Oh, definitely more so than men.
Absolutely.
That's
you
why
guys got it. You got it.
Well, that's good though. But it's nice to see men, because men have things that they want to deal with as well.
You'd be surprised how many more men want to deal with more things that they're willing to talk about.
And I guess they can talk about it with what? Other men. Yes, that makes perfect sense. So what else? Who else is on this conference?
Well, we've got Jake Melton. Jake Melton is the author of a book called Cut the Crap. And he is a minimalist. So he teaches men how to reduce the garbage, work on the trash so that you can minimize your life and be happier. And he's a powerful speaker. Then, of course, we got Rob Griffin, who's the producer in a show of The Rob and Dale Show.
Okay.
And he's going to be speaking on how to protect your stuff. As a man, how do you protect your property? How do you protect your family? He's a former law enforcement with Las Vegas PD.
Yeah, undercover agent.
Undercover agent in Las
he's
Vegas
real
PD.
deal.
So he is the real McCoy.
Very good guy.
And he's turned that into a successful speaking career on how to protect your stuff. So as men, we got to protect our families, protect our home. And he's going to speak on how to do that effectively.
Oh, that sounds like it is, of course,
we got it all covered.
I don't have any more questions. I mean, like, okay, this conference, the Thrive Conference for men, June the 1st is when it's going on. Now, what are your times?
We're going to start at, doors open at 8:30, an hour of networking, fellowship, relationship building. And then we're going to kick off the first speaker at 9:30, run till about 3, leave an hour for follow-up and friendship, exchanging phone numbers, and spending time with the vendors and sponsors.
And that's a good thing, too, because networking is really key. And that's something that, just by getting together, you have a chance to do, right?
Correct. Yes, build relationships.
Yeah, that's
relationships
a big deal.
Create conversations that catapult you into new seasons.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, June the 1st. And what's the website again before we wrap up?
thejmaymi.com/register.
All right. Well, Jay and Keenan, thank you so much.
Lynn,
I appreciate
thank you.
you.
You're so awesome.
Hey, I love this conference. I love you back. We've got more on what's going on.